us from US, and good afternoon to the ones in India. So today is our third session for our book club, which we actually have initiated, kind of impromptu as part of the lockdown situation we have. And, since many of us are at home, to take our mind away and be focused on, something else, something which we love doing. We initiated the book club sharing, wherein we are inviting participants to come over, pick a book of their choice, and share what they think about the book. So today we have two participants, and I'm going to bring them up shortly. All right.
Hello, guys.
Hey. Okay, wait, I lost Saya. All right, so I think I lost you, Saya. So if you can, reconnect. Right now we have Thoudam Yoihenba in our studio, and what we'll do is, let's have a brief introduction first, and of course we'll wait for Saya to join. But while we are waiting for her, Yoihenba, you want to introduce yourself?
Okay. Actually, my name is Thoudam Yoihenba, and I'm from Manipur, Muksangke Melekai. That's our locality. And currently, I'm staying in Mysore, India, and for pursuing my bachelor's degree in computer science engineering. And I'm still staying in Mysore until this lockdown. And
Oh, so you are right now in Mysore?
Yeah, I'm right now in Mysore.
Okay, so we got Saya back. All right. Yeah, we lost you for a moment, Saya.
Yeah.
Okay, so Yoihenba was just I'm trying to see where my camera is. Let me. Okay,
I kind of miss his introduction.
okay, so let me do a little bit of setup. And just give me a moment. I just want to make sure our sound is fine.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so can somebody who is watching, can you confirm that our sound is fine? Okay, so let me, just give me a moment. Okay, good. Our sound is good. So I think we can proceed. Okay, so let's start with Yoihenba. I'll let Yoihenba continue with your introduction. Yoihenba was just telling us that he is in Mysore right now.
And I'm pursuing my bachelor's degree in computer science engineering. And until this lockdown ends, I'll be in Mysore, so that I won't go anywhere.
Yes.
And
How is the situation there? Are you in the hostel or?
No, I'm staying in a PG right now, and this is actually my friend's PG. I have in my PG. There's no one there, and I came to stay here. So like like four of us are here right now, and everybody has left. The hostels are all closed down. The college is also closed down, and nobody is like in the streets anymore. And except for some grocery stores there, they are open. Yeah,
Okay.
that's the situation right now.
Okay, so you're fine, right? I mean, you are staying with your friend, you have food, and you're staying indoors and being safe.
Yeah, I'm all fine.
Okay, good. That's what we want to hear.
Okay.
All right, so let's go to Saya. Saya, if you can introduce yourself. We had Saya in our earlier show too for Thagachari, and I'm so excited to see her after 2 years. That was, no, actually 3 years, because that was, I think, in 2017.
End of 2017.
Yeah, so happy to have you back. All right, so go ahead and have a brief introduction about yourself, and also give a status on, how you're doing with the current lockdown.
Okay. So hello everyone. Good afternoon and good morning, wherever you are watching from. My name is Saya Okram. I'm from Thawal district, Manipur. Currently, I'm in New Delhi, and I just came to Delhi on 11th of March from home to join a new project here. And I joined my new office on 12th, and then after a few days, like the office has been like work from home, and everything has been locked down. And then I was staying with my friend at her flat, and then meanwhile I was planning to look for a place to stay for my own. But like before all these things happened, the lockdown is like happened. So my friend has been very gracefully and kindly giving me a place to stay and work. So right now I'm speaking from New Delhi. And as for what I do, like I'm an epidemiologist at International Unions Against Tuberculosis and Lungs Disease. So as a public health person, this is a very sensitive period for us, like knowing all the news and the strategies, how the countries are responding, and how the societies are responding, and the political people. Like, it's a very heartbreaking situation for us at the moment, because we are kind of involved with the work and control strategy of the country as the organization. And and everything apart from that is like doing fine. Like, at least I have a place over my to stay at the moment. And then we are doing this work from home, which is like not at all like a vacation. Then so I was kind of wondering, like, when I see even this program also, and then many people sharing about the list of book and the movies that they can watch. But then somehow for us, this work from home has become so much of burden. And being a public health person, we have the responsibility to write and communicate and advocate with the government. So we have a different volunteer groups. Even in Manipur also, we are organizing and mobilizing. And recently, few days before, like we have conducted a talk also regarding how can we respond to this pandemic as the community. So it's kind of a very hectic time for me, like not really have the time to sleep and eat. But then it was really, really excited to see the initiative by you, say, Monica. So I'm like, I can take out 1 year for 1 hour for this. It will be kind of different experience for me. So I'm really, really looking forward into this hearing.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. All right, so Saya, because of the way the app is and the naming is, can you
Mm-hmm.
change your camera a bit so that
Uh,
your head would be, no, the other way.
the way, is
Yeah,
it fine?
cool. Yeah, yeah, that's good.
Okay.
So that way
Yeah.
the name will not cover your face. Yeah, definitely. We have been working from home. And for those who are listening, I know a lot of you are watching us. Thank you for watching. If you can write in the comment on how you're coping with the current lockdown, we'll definitely feature your comments. So do share. And I want to make our session very interactive, even, when we are up here live, and also to the people who are watching. So yeah, I have been working from home now for a long time. But yes, to your point, yeah, we are all working, but we also need to take our mind off and keep ourselves more positive in this worst situation we are having, right? And also I see that specifically within our community, there has been a lot of negative sharing in the social media, attacking each other. And I think all this is coming from the fear. So I just wanted to, I guess, inject some positivity from our show and from all the participants who are coming here. All right. So before we go to the book sharing, as always, I am a big advocate for gratitude. So let's have our round of sharing gratitude, and then we'll go into the book details. Okay. Let me start my gratitude. So today I want to take the time to thank Caesar Hospital. I don't know if you guys have been watching, but Caesar Hospital has initiated a live show hosted by Dr. Jugendra Sorokaibam, and I felt that it was so much needed, and that is he has been calling very interesting guest speaker, or he has been hosting alone, giving information about COVID, also doing a lot of question and answer from the viewer. So I really feel that this is the kind of leadership we need from our community. So thank you to Thagachari, to Caesar Hospital, and also to Dr. Jugendra for leading. So with that, I want to take a moment, and say Thagachari to them, and also, for the people who are watching us, for data relevant to COVID and coronavirus pertaining to Manipur, I definitely, welcome you, urge you to watch the live show. If you have missed the live show, you can definitely, catch up on that video. So with that, I will pass on to Yoihenba.
Actually, first of all, I would like to thank the Marjing because he was the one who gave me this opportunity to share my views with the viewers here. And second, I would like to thank my best friend Langlen Sarangtim, like through which I got connected to the Marjing. And then I would like to thank my friend Anmol Maisnam because it is his book that I'm reading right now. It's not my book. And I would like to thank all the COVID fighters, the fighters of the world, those who are fighting the pandemic right now, and for those who have died, and for those who have lived, and for anybody or any person related to this pandemic, I hope it is surely for the best that God has planned it already, and I hope it ends soon, and like I hope God give us this lesson to learn, and I want to thank God for this, and I want to thank my family for giving me such an opportunity to see what life is. And I would like to thank my viewers for listening and for supporting or sharing and all this life. So thank you. And I would like to thank the Finding the Voices, because this is the platform through which I can share right now, and that's all.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm sure, like, you being in Mysore and your parents and family being in Manipur, they might be worried. So I hope your family and parents are watching, and, it gives them that sense of calmness that you're there, with a wonderful friend over there, reading his book and sharing with us. And yeah, and of course, I want to have a big call out to Marjing. Marjing has, when we came up with the idea of this show, I definitely need a team to help me coordinate. And so he has been helping, me coordinate and uh, making this happen. So Thagachari to Marjing. All right, so over to Saya.
Yeah. So, first of all, I would like to express my gratitude to the human community for holding on together in this time of distress and crisis. Like, we have been hearing so many good news from different parts of the country, how we people as a community and society are holding on together and helping each other. And we have been seeing examples and photos and pictures from our state, like how the local youth clubs are helping each other for the people who are need in mobilizing the resources and all. So I would like to thank to all this of all the community, like not only the medical professionals or implementers or state responders or everything is like it's been composed in this universe for making this moment still able to survive together and hold on to. So yeah, this is like thank you
Yeah.
to everyone.
Yeah, definitely. And with all these things happening, I just find it inspiring how humanity has come together, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Um, and I think that's really beautiful. Like everywhere, like for me, since I'm in US, I follow the press release from the White House. And I follow my, our governor, just so that I am alert about the local news. And at the level of US, I follow the White House, and it's so amazing how we have come up and collaborated it with different private sector to come up with different solutions. So it has been really inspiring. All right, so I think we lost Saya. So what I'm going to do is, with this sharing of gratitude, we'll move on to our section about the book sharing. And I will let Yohenba to share about your book.
Okay, ma'am. My book is The Fifth Mountain by Paulo Coelho, and yeah, everyone must have known it. Like he was the writer for The Alchemist too, and it is such a great book. But I have read up to one third of the book only up to now, and I found it like there are a lot of life lessons to learn, and there are a lot of points to be pointed out. And I wish that after completing this book, I would get to know a lot of more this one about life and about how we should continue in our life and how we should see or how we should approach in our life. And so, actually, to continue sharing about this book, I would first like to this one share what's on the back of this book. It is said that already struggling to maintain his sanity in a chaotic world of tyranny and war, he is now forced to choose between a newfound love and overwhelming sense of duty. This is the one sentence which is quite intriguing and which led me to read this book. And of course, this is a book by Paulo Coelho, which is one of my favorite writer. So I decided to read this book, and as soon as I opened this book, there's one note from the author. It says that actually a quotation from The Alchemist, and from that it says that when you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. And this is one such beautiful line. It is one of the greatest line because like it also stresses how Paulo Coelho is a one of a kind writer because he did not say really really want. He just said want. He stretched out on how important the word is, how heavy the word itself is, the word want itself is. And if he said like really really want, it means that uh, it's 100% want, and if you want it 100% you will get it. So that meaning is conveyed by this if you want that sentence. And so like it means that if you really want something 100%, then the universe will conspire to help, and it will we can achieve it. That's what it means. And then turning towards the this some pages, next page actually, he tells something about himself, how his life was, how he progressed through. And there's one thing there, like all like we will finally reach our destiny, we will ultimately reach our personal vision or whatever, our personal prophecy, what has been written by God and all. But before reaching that, we come across different parts of life. For example, I am now studying uh, engineering, and after some time I may quit engineering and I may become a writer, or I may become a IS or something like that. It's a different part of life, and whatever part we come across, and we take whatever part we take, it is like just the things that comes along to teach us what life is, and it will ultimately lead us to our ultimate destination. That's what it means, and that's how the writer conveys in his note. And then coming towards some 23 pages and all that, it says that because mm, yeah, more man is not born to betray his destiny. So like whatever risks we take and whatever obstacle we come across, we have to face it and we have to take the risk and we have to sacrifice some of ourselves, because that is the only way to reach our destiny, and that is the only way to fulfill our prophecy. That's what it means by that. And this is where it's quite interesting because each sentence, each paragraph has its own meaning and has its own lesson, the message that Paulo Coelho keeps. And here it says about risks, and risks is something we have to worry about because risks is something that gives us a second option, and whether to take the risks or whether to leave the risks and just go about. And like it is also said that the Lebanon, here it is also mentioned that the Lebanon had different ships, different boats to travel to merchandise their trading and their economy, their commerce and all. And in order to build different ships, many people have lost their lives. And what was gained from it was that the ships improved a lot, and uh, their the risks that they had taken, the sacrifice of people was worth it because the ship has improved a lot, and it helped people in the future. That's what it means by. And then coming to somewhere middle part of the one third part, there's one scene like this man, the protagonist Elijah, escaped from Israel to Akbar. It's one of the town in Lebanon, and the people there knew that he was a wanted man. He had a huge price in his head, and whoever submits him to the Queen Jezebel would get a huge reward. And he was staying there for months because it was a trade. It was like deal because he stayed there, and in the future, the people of Akbar or one of the town of Lebanon would get a huge reward, and so they allowed him to stay there, and that's a like gamble. And this is one quite intriguing scene, and this makes the book exciting, interesting, and this is one of Paulo Coelho's sense and kind and type of writing that he uses. And then coming to some end part of the one third of the book, there's one thing. There's this one. That Elijah, he went up to the fifth mountain. The fifth mountain is something like a spiritual mountain where people consider gods are there. Gods are on the top of the mountain. It's something like the Kobru of Manipur or the Chamundi in Mysore or any other mountain which is spiritual. And he went up there as ordered by the governor of the town, and he went up there, and people heard that he was divine. He was touched by a divine angel, like the divine gods who are living up inside, who are living up top of that fifth mountain. And so people believe him, and people believe him like he can cure illness, he can help the poor and stuff like that. So when he came back, there was this one looming rumor about war going to happen soon. And so when the governor and when the high priest, when the commander, those dignitaries of the town, they asked him about the fifth mountain, and they asked him what he made there. He couldn't give an answer because he just said, I saw an angel, the angel that he always see from his childhood. He was actually a prophet, and so he saw that angel actually. And so like this they continued. But at one scene of the this one story, there's a scene that the people, the weak and ill and unwell people, they gathered around him to seek their blessings, to find him a cure, maybe seek his cure because he was a divine one. And so, like, he was in a dilemma because he could not cure the illness because he was not God, and he could not just turn a blind eye about it because the governor had ordered it to do something, and he had to do something. So he remembered the angel saying that all the powers of an ordinary man would be granted to him, and he could do anything that an ordinary man could do. And what he did was actually exceptional because he used his brains, he used his mind, and he uses uh, logical reasoning and power stuff like that, and he provided an answer to the question, an option as a solution. He said that let us first seek a solution to the war. Then, after the war ends, then we might seek a solution where we can end the illness, where we can end the poor, because the war was the main problem at the time, and thus he escaped from a dilemma from where he could be executed by the governor because he was not a divine one, and if he could not if he could not provide a cure to the illness, and if he could not help the poor, then he would have been executed. So thus he came out from such a from such a problem, from such a difficult situation because of his own thinking, and that's how an ordinary man can do. That's the best that ordinary man can do, and this is what Paulo Coelho expresses in this scene. And then there's one scene after that, like how was the fifth mountain, like this high priest, this one mock the Eliza. He mocked the protagonist, the Eliza. He said, "The same God who sends the storm also made the wheat," which means that the same God who provides death for the people is also the same God who provides meal for the poor and who provides meal for the living. How is that possible? And so Eliza, he answered quite brilliantly. He answered that the fifth mountain, if you see the fifth mountain, from whichever side you look, it appears different, but it is the same mountain. So, which means that it's the same God, but it appears different from different angle. Sometimes it provides death, sometimes it provides living, and that's what it expressed in this uh, dialogue or conversation. And this is what the first 30% of the book tells me about it. And there's also one scene where a crow was his only friend, was his only acquaintance, because he was escaping from Israel and the soldiers were running around him. The soldiers were coming after him. He was a wanted man, but there was a crow besides him who listened to his stories and who provided a soul that he can talk to. And that is one good scene, that is one brilliant scene that Paulo Coelho portrayed. And actually, that protagonist, Eliza, he bid farewell to the crow. He wanted to bid farewell to the crow, but the crow did not come that day, except that day, even though he came the other days. And then there's also one scene that all the prophets uh, who believe and who worship the Lord of Israel, they were executed, most of them, because they were forced to leave their faith on leave their faith as into the Lord and pray another God, like some kind of missionary thing. Like they had to pray the Phoenician gods and all, and they were executed if they had not complied to the order. And most of the prophets were executed, but some of the prophets they turned into another faith. They left their faith into their own Lord, and they entrusted themselves towards the Phoenician gods, which indicates something like this one, a betrayal, uh, like betrayal of their own god. And this is also portrayed in this fifth mountain. And and one thing is that uh, it also expresses that life can be a graph, like an asymptote, where the graph, comes towards the x-axis, but it never touches the x-axis. Like we are bound to choose our destination, we are bound to reach our destination, but we are never fulfilled. We are never fulfilled of our dreams, and we should never be discouraged or frustrated about it, because the graph has been already drawn, and what matters is the graph. And so this is a beautiful book by Paulo Coelho, and I suggest everyone read it. That will be all.
Thank you for that wonderful sharing. I think you said you read only 30%, but after you read the 100%, I think you should come back with more sharings.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
All right, so yes, so be online. I just want to again thank everyone who's watching. Online. Be sure to comment and comment on how the speaker is reading, and if you have any questions or any comment or how you guys are doing. Your comments are welcome, and I want to just highlight a few of the comments. Um, Okay, so we have a comment from Marjim who is watching us. Love the explanation of your book, bro. Quite deep indeed, and I absolutely agree. I think you have explained some of the concepts very well. One of the things I wrote down while you are sharing is, you spoke about when we want something, when we have something, in our intent, if we throw that out, the universe will conspire to make it happen, right? And that's one thing which I really believe in, and I have many, many experience of it happening. When you set your intention, you don't know how it's going to happen, but the universe kind of make it together, right? And like even the fact that this book club, I didn't know how it was going to work on, but yeah, I don't know who you are, but today we are here sharing about book and having this awesome conversation. So definitely, I love that sharing.
Mm.
All right, we have one more comment from Lenin Chanam. Paulo Coelho's works are amazing. Amazing. Truly, they do give life lessons. Absolutely. All right. So to everybody who are watching, thank you. Keep your comment, coming in. And let's see. Yeah. So this is so this is a comment from Muttum Ranjana Devi. Madam gi makhol gaya manai che Monica gi makhol se. So I guess you are my mom's student. Yes, definitely. Okay. So let's see. Sunil Singh, Return. I'm not sure why your title is Return. We didn't need to read again, bro. You have explained in such a way that we are reading the book right now. Yeah, absolutely. I think you gave a very good summary and kind of extracted the point. And then one thing what I noticed was you also have highlights like this, right? Even when I read a book,
Yeah, highlights.
so this is like a book lover moment wherein we mark what we like, and that's where we kind
Yeah.
of go to. All right, so yeah, keep the comments coming in. I'm really loving the interaction. So with that, I'm going to thank Yoihenba for your sharing.
Thank you, man.
Continue tuning in. And so which year are you in? You said you are doing engineering.
First year.
You are in first year, so yeah, so
Yeah.
you're just starting your engineering life over
Yes.
there. So my best wishes, good luck, and to all our listeners from Manipur. I know many of you are in different places, and I think this program could be a way for all of us to connect, specifically during this time where you guys are away from your family, and we find the strength in each other. Is there any message for your parents or
I
family?
hope, I wish they stay strong, and yeah, they stay strong. I will be fine.
Okay, good. All right. Any other words before we let you go?
I wish the pandemic ends well because ends soon because I really want to go home right now, and I would like to see my friends. I would like to go out. I would like to enjoy adventure, and I would like to travel again. That's all I
Yeah,
want.
absolutely. I would definitely echo that thought. And thank you for sharing. Thank your friend who is letting you stay over there. And I can see that you're really calm and, um, yeah. All right. All right,
Okay.
Yohenba. Bye.
Bye bye.
All right. So, Saya is here. Thank you for your patience, Saya.
No problem.
All right.
I
So, yeah, so let's start with your book sharing.
mhm.
Can't wait to hear about what you have to share. I think Yohenba did an excellent job, and now I'm very excited to look forward to what you have to share. Go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah. Thank you, Yohenba, for such a very good explanation. And yeah, just write one commenter say we don't need to read the book again. Truly. Go ahead with my sharing. This is the book, like I people can see it. It's like Into the Wild by Jon Krakauer. Mm. So first, the author is a very renowned American novel author, like he's a mountaineering also. Usually, this book is usually kept in the section of adventure when you go to the bookstore or any online store. But then for me, I would like to talk about this book as a very philosophical kind of a book which we can learn about the lessons of the life journey. So first, little bit about the book I will share with you all. Mm, This is a real life story which happened in the year 1992 in April about a young man from a very well-to-do family in Washington D.C. in America, and then his way of traveling from the East Coast to Alaska in the wilderness of Mount McKinley up to the north. So he was from a very well-to-do family, and then he graduated from a very like renowned university. And after he graduated, like he left behind everything. He burned all his possessions. He donated all the money that his parents had been saving up for his college, and then he donated all those monies and then all his possessions, and he abandoned his car and everything, and then he set out for a journey. So the journey was for 2 years.
Okay,
Mm,
so Saya, sorry to interrupt, but your sound
yeah,
is not very stable.
even here also, I'm not, it's like all the echoes are coming, so like I'm not able
Okay, so do you want to remove your headphone and try directly? Because I think that
to. Okay.
movement is making that cracking sound a lot.
Hello, Simon, can you hear me?
Yeah, and now the echo is there.
Yeah, the echo is very, like, I'm not able to speak properly.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, can you continue trying to talk?
Yeah, is it fine?
Yeah, actually now it's better. So yeah, to our listeners, let us know if you guys can hear properly, but I am able to hear. I think this is better than the headphone.
Yeah, but then I have a lots of echo, which is very difficult to talk.
Okay, so do you want to reduce the volume at your side? Like go to
Yeah, I
your
will do that.
volume and reduce that so that the echo will be less.
Yeah, is it fine? Able to hear?
Yeah, I can hear.
What about? I hope can the listeners can about
Yeah, I mean, if I can hear, the listener should be able to hear.
it. Okay.
Yeah, so
Lots of technical challenges. Okay, shall I continue?
yeah, please.
Yeah.
So I
So
think
this
we should start over. You said that this book is in the adventure section, but for today's context, you want to talk about it more from the philosophical perspective, and then
yes.
I want you to kind of repeat, a little bit of the settings which you shared because that was a little, unclear.
Okay. So yeah, I was talking about the philosophical point of this view. So before that, I just want to speak little bit about what is this book about. And this is a real life story book of a young man from Washington D.C. And this story happens in the year in 1992. So me as a okay. Yeah. He belongs to a very well-to-do family in America, and he graduated from a very well-renowned university. Right after he graduated, he left behind everything and all his possession, his car, his wallet, and everything he burned down. And then he donated all the money his parents were saving for his college fund, and then he set out for a journey from East Coast to Alaska, and that was the journey for 2 years. And during that journey, he took different ways to explore the whole of the North America, and at the end he head up to the Alaska. And then his main ultimate of the journey was he wanted to live and then explore the wilderness and seclusions along with the nature of Alaska. During this his journey, he met a various kinds of people who doesn't know who he is actually. He's been being, like from who he is, like where he from, who is his parent, and how he grown up. Like all those kind of the social identity that we stick with to ourselves when we describe ourselves. Like we ask the questions like, "Who are you?" Describe yourself, and we start by describing like what I do. Like our profession becomes like our description. So if you have a good job, people are like, okay, oh, she's like that or he's like that. But then he didn't want to live that kind of life, so he set up all his past life, and he even changed his name. So whosoever people who met him in during this journey, he used to say his name like, my name is Alexander Supertramp. So like, he make up those kinds of thing, and but then he continued living it like that. And then after living like that, at the end he decided to head off to Alaska. And then after the 4 months of reaching to Alaska, and then his body was found decomposed by a group of moose hunter. So, and then then the writer Jon Krakauer was, during the year 1992, was given the opportunity to write an article about this incident, and he wrote an article about it in the magazine Outsider magazine. But then people's response was so overwhelming that he decided to write a book. Like, and then the book composed of his journey, but the way of method of writing is like, by interviewing the people whom he met on the journey, how people remember him as someone who suddenly pop up from someone, not the son of a very renowned family from Washington DC, or someone who has a very good degree, or someone who are very rich or like full of knowledge. So whosoever accounts that people were giving about him was like whatever, they've just met him without any social attachment to or background to his name or his identity. So the book was compiled in that way. And during this journey, when he started living in Alaska in one of the abandoned camping car, inside that he was carrying a lot of book along with him to read. And then he drew most of his inspiration from the book that he was reading it. Like for example, Leo Tolstoy was one of his heroes. So his questions, he lots of in those books that he was reading, he used to highlight the different paragraph and pages which reflect a lot of about the questions on the philosophical questions on the meaning of life. And the questions that people have arise after reading this his journey was like, so critical and so many variety of response was that, was it a stupid person just going into some jungle and some wild, because he is so young, only 24 years, that he want to experience the wilderness in some sort of adventure? Was it he selfish that he left behind all his parents without knowing any clue of like where he had been, what is, how is he doing? So many people talk about the recklessness of his adventure, like the selfishness of not letting the parents and knows. But then somehow, is it like the questions that arise in this book is like, was he leaving everything behind with a very philosophical questions of looking for the meaning of life, or was that he just went off because of his stranded family relationship with the parents? So this was the unanswered question. But then while going through the readings that he was doing during those seclusion time and living with nature time, then someone can able to understand that what was going on. The kind of question he asked was like, what is this civilization of human being about? Is it even a real thing that everything whatever going on in this art? So I find this journey as a very meaningful journey, though he could never come back from his journey. But then he found the answer when you read the book at the end. So he found the answer. So I would like to share a little bit of the two different quotes. um, this is the one quote that he was highlighting in one of the book by Leo Tolstoy. That was at the starting of his journey. It's like, I wanted movement and not a calm course of existence. I wanted excitement and danger and the chance to sacrifice myself for my love. I felt in myself a superabundance of energy which found no outlet in our quieter life. That highlights that his desire to explore more and look for more. The kind of not being satisfied by being in one place, but then knowing the things and exploring the things in a very larger view. And then while going on, that was the starting of his journey. And then later on, when he reached to the latter part of his journey, finally when he reached Alaska, and then when he was like getting ready to get out of the wood into the civilization, there's another quote that he wrote. And so it turned out that only a life similar to the life of those around us, merging with it without a ripple, is genuine life. And the unshared happiness is not happiness. And this was most vexing of all. Hello?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Jamanika, can you hear
Yes,
me?
I can hear you.
Yeah. Yeah. So at the end, he noted that happiness become only real when you share. So the kind of journey that the lessons he found, when I find this book so much relevant to my life, was
Okay, so we have lost Saya, but while we are waiting for her, okay, let's see if she will join back. But yeah, I mean, I think what I was just writing notes, while she was sharing, um, and I can totally, relate to some of the things, right? Like having the excitement, exploring or wanting to experience the danger, um, seeking for meaning of life. Um, because again, like when Saya was sharing about this book, it let me think about how how we grow, how I grew up in Manipur, particularly, wherein, because of the conflict situation, I was mostly confined to home, as well as school. It was only home and school. And so I have never kind of explored Manipur. Um, and there was a huge lack of freedom in my movement. So it has always been my wish and dream that one day I would come to Manipur and experience all the different places in Manipur, get to interact with the people. um, and I see Saya is back, so I'm going to get her back. Hey Saya, we lost you for a moment.
I know
Yeah.
what's going on with the connection today.
Yeah, that's fine. While you were out, I was just sharing my thoughts on,
Yeah, I could hear your voice at this
Oh,
time.
okay, good. All right. Yeah. So, yeah, when you shared that, it let me kind of reflect on myself too, right? Like on, how I also felt at times to go out and explore, particularly in the context of Manipur. And it has been in my mind that, hey, maybe I should do a show wherein I go back to Manipur and kind of like a reality show to, mingle and mix with people and have the experience in different part of Manipur, which I have never seen. Like, for example, I do paint a lot of Sirui lily, but I have never seen Sirui lily. I paint Zuko lily, but I have never seen Zuko lily. So when you were sharing about such a young person just leaving the family and exploring, it kind of made me think of that. Okay, so go ahead with your remaining sharing.
So what I was saying is like mostly people look at this book as a way of exploring, but then that going to Alaska and living sounds so exotic, right? So
Yeah.
most of us get inspired by okay, pack your bag and just go and get lost kind of philosophy. But then there's so much meaning on why one get lost, the searching of the meaning of the life, or maybe how I look into this book is this person, Christ McCandless, there is the name of the God. He was trying to reach the connection between past life and how we reach into the future. That getting lost in the wilderness of Alaska was his present way of looking about how to live the life in the future. Then he realized that happiness is something only when you get it more and more by sharing with the people around you. So that's why I quoted those two quotes of how he felt when he started journey and how he felt when he was about to end the journey. But it was so unlucky and unfortunate for him that he was not able to come out alive from that journey, that he was never at get the chance to live the future that he was looking forward. That means the sharing of happiness with the people around you.
Right, sharing of
Yeah.
happiness with the people around you. And I think one more thing, what you mentioned is like on his, on how people remembers you, right? It's not so much
Yes.
about the title. It's not so much about, oh, what am I in my office, right? What is my title, or what am I in
Mm.
this society? But it's more on your interaction with people and how they remember you when, you're gone.
Hmm. So it
So
was
tell me, sorry, in this book, you said like the author kind of went and interviewed people who met him, right? But
yeah,
to
right.
some thoughts and writing, did he like, was it from a blog he had written or letters, or how did
No, 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 no. He
tell
was
me?
approached by the Outsider magazine to write an article when this news was a very hot issues in 1992 in Alaska and then all of the America. So he wrote a two-pages article as a kind of a news. But then people comments on was so varied, like what I was telling, like many people were thinking that he's stupid and he's
Yeah,
selfish, the young people trying to explore and without any thinking. But then somehow when the writer went through his belongings, like the books and then the quotes that he script on the abandoned van that he was leaving, he was investigating all the process, he found the very profounding quotes and the writings. And the kind of book that the boy was reading, the kind of question he was raising it in his journal really intrigued the writer, and then he thought that he was really attached, and he was like, the journey and the story becomes something the writer cannot just leave it behind. So he started writing and then looking for the track of the people where he was working, where he met, and different kinds of areas and localities and states all across North America. And then he met with the families, interviewed the families, and that's how he started met his and published in 1996.
Yeah, so like, so he got the source mainly, like his quotation and his, I guess,
Yeah.
quotation from the journal the boy had kept as part of his journey. Yeah,
She was,
I am very intrigued to read this book. I'll definitely order it.
yeah. So it's a very inspiring because I also had a kind of a similar journey a few years back, and I kind of I didn't know anything about this book, and I was preparing for my solo trip for a year in the year 2016, and then a friend happened to suggest talk about this book, and I just picked it up, and then I read the first page when I was sitting on the flight on my way to Malaysia, and then all over the different countries that I went, read one chapter of the book. Then when I started my journey, I had the same question as he. It's like, okay, I have a PhD, I'm a doctorate, and then what is behind that? I find the life is much larger than that. So I wanted to have a journey like the way he was doing it. I to be in a place where nobody knows me, not knowing where I'm sleeping tonight and what I'm going to eat. But then he was so encouraged, but at least I have my bank account ready. Unlike him, I didn't have my bank account. But then, after reading the books and then after finally reaching the end, even for me, there was a time that I didn't want to connect at all with the people and all. And I was just going on the journey, meeting the people who are new, who doesn't know who I was, and what did I do and anything. So later on, after reading this book, I just learned so much, and I'm like inspired by the quote that the happiness is doubled by sharing. So then, when I started sharing my travel writing along with my friends through social media and start connecting with my friends and then family, like telling them where I am. At the end of the book, I was coming up with the thing that okay, I need to be getting touch with the civilizations, and I need to be with the people around who love me and who I love, and it inspire me to live a life which is very freely, but that human bonding is the backbone of living that life. So it's like happiness is been staring at my face with the people around me, even people I don't know. So it's like I was able to get out of that very confusing philosophy of what is life and all. And so that's why I'm very thankful to this book for taking me to the right path.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think now I remember what we were supposed to meet up for, because
Yes.
when you shared in the podcast, you talk about your solo trip, and we said, hey, I want to know about from the beginning and each of the step, and who you met and things like that. So now I remember why we were supposed to meet, and it never happened. So now
Yeah, true.
yeah, definitely I do want to meet up for that, and I think. The takeaway for me is, we have the book which you shared, but also with your journey, you kind of, and stayed away from humanity, stayed away from civilization, went back and, got in contact with nature more, but it's the realization again coming back and mingling with humanity, but more with a different perspective, right? About sharing happiness, because when you share happiness, it's doubled, it's not so much about, okay, I'm a PhD or, whatever, but it's more about our human bonding and connections and what we do. So, yeah, I mean, thank you so much for sharing. And I know with the sound connectivity too, I do want to talk more about your solo trip, but let's plan for another podcast on that. And to end the show, do you have any other last minute message you want to share?
Yeah, I simply, I mean, like, I just want to say that life is much more than what we see. So, yeah.
All right. So on that note, we want to say thank you to everyone who is watching. Keep watching, and as you can see, we are going to continue this project of book club. We can always learn from each other from a book, and also our interpretation, right? Because when I read a book, I may take away some aspect of it, then some other reading a book. So it's always very interesting to hear from the reader's perspective of what the takeaway is. So I want to welcome everyone who's watching to come up here, share about the books you love, and share about thoughts, and we can be connected. With that, I want to sign off, and thank you. All righty. Bye bye.